Alright, what's up everybody? Just kind of doing, I guess, a slight introduction. I just got out of work and kind of showing a little bit of the truck. I guess this will be sort of a short little review on a deep transmission pan I installed. The truck is a 2000 Cummins VP44, 24 valve obviously. It's got the stock injection pump, it has a stock lift pump, and it has, I'll turn this around, roughly 297,692 miles on it. So the truck, when I got it, had the stock tranny pan on it, but a rebuilt trans, obviously. I doubt it made it this far. And the truck needs work, a good amount of work. From my other videos, just short ones, there's a lot of rust, a lot of rot, and just a lot of maintenance that it needs. It's leaking oil from everywhere, but every Cummins does that. And it starts up good, it starts up smooth, but the transmission was leaking pretty good. So when I picked up the truck, the dealership that I got it from actually put a bunch of nuts and spacers. I guess it didn't have the studs or the bolts to actually go in, so that's what they decided to put in and never tightened it down. So it was leaking transmission fluid all underneath it, from the cooler and from the pan. So I decided to use the B&M Deep Pan instead of the Mag High Tech. I'll put the part number in the description. But the pan itself is cast aluminum. It has a temperature port just like the Mag High Tech, and it's an additional 2 quarts. It's not the double deep Mag High Tech pan. I was kind of doing a little bit of research on it, and you don't want too much fluid. The deep pans only do so much, so the action of them is to just kind of be like a cooling mechanism. They just kind of help in aid in cooling. So my stock trans temps I was seeing were around 140 to 150 driving to and from work. It's about a 30 to 40 minute drive each way, so it would sit right around there. I use regular old Chrysler ATF4 on the transmission right now. It's, again, just a stock transmission bolted up behind this thing, and the temps weren't like crazy. It's not like it ever was overheating. It just was sitting, I would assume, about normal. So I started to go with the deeper pan. It was $175, I think, off Amazon. The Mag High Tech is $240. It doesn't use an O-ring. It uses a mall cork gasket or paper gasket, so that's obviously gonna have to be replaced in time. I don't hear bad things about the O-rings. I don't know how much I trust them. I doubt that they fail because no one really complains about them, so at least from what I saw. So the installed the pan, drained it. They come with a spacer. Now the pan is used on any 47 and 48. So you get a big block for the 48, and then you get a smaller block for the 47. So you got to take out one of the valve body bolts and screw in one of their adapter bolts that it comes with, and it has a threaded drain and it's magnetic drain plug just like the Mag High Tech, and the temperature port is right on the side of it, so it sits in the fluid at all times, which is a lot better than being up at the top on the passenger side bolt that you can actually take out and put a thread sensor in there. So the transmission, it doesn't warm up any faster. It doesn't like cool down any faster with the extra 2 quarts, but it does sit around 133 degrees now. So the truck is kind of cold. I'll show you on it's not warmed up at all. I just started it, so it's been sitting out here for 8 hours, and it's about 63. The computer's saying. It's probably not. It's probably closer, maybe 55-ish in New York right now on Long Island. So it did help, I would assume, with temperature. Now that might just be the 2 extra quarts. I've had it on for about a month. I'm not really sure if it's actually the pan or if it's actually the 2 extra quarts of fluid. My assumption, after building so many different versions of these trucks and doing so many different tests on these trucks, it's probably just the 2 extra quarts. It probably does help as you're driving. So it's a good pan. I recommend it, definitely, for sure. And I had no trouble installing it. The filter quality is okay. I definitely recommend an external filter with a better tranny cooler. I mean, for stock applications, it's probably fine, but I mean, who wants to spend money on a transmission anyway? So all in all, I mean, I would definitely rate it like an 8 out of 10. I think the cork gasket probably could have been a little bit better. Not saying that Mala is a bad company at all. Their gaskets are great. They really are. I just think that if all the higher performance companies are using an O-ring, you should probably put an O-ring in it, but that's probably where the price difference comes from. So the other part of this is just kind of like an introduction. I've owned about 30 Ram trucks. This is only second gens, and I've pretty much only bought ones that only need work. If I manage to find one that's really clean and really doesn't need any work, I for some reason decide not to buy it. I guess I just am a sucker for punishment, but this is probably one of the worst ones I've ever bought. Didn't spend too much on it anyway, so it's not really like it's a downside. Besides, I have the other truck if I really need to. For the most parts, they've mostly been gas V8s, 5.2s and 5.9s. I've never owned a 3.9 Magnum, I think it is. I've owned a 12 valve. I kept pretty much stock, is used as a daily. And I think it had a fuel adjustment on it. That's about it. And then this is a 24 valve. So I do have the turbo black truck. It's a 1500. It's a 5.2 liter 318 small block with a NV 3500 transmission sitting behind it. And that, all in all, is not really too bad of a setup. I actually really enjoy that truck, and it doesn't make that much boost. It makes about 5 or 6 pounds. That's about what I can run with no tuning whatsoever. So that's about as much as I have for now.